Okay, so you'll have to do all of them. If you have not been saving your low poly, duplicating it and putting it in a different layer, which I have, I've got a ton of them in here, then you're going to have some cleanup you got to do. You have to do the cleanup, okay? And I noticed that I've got a bad piece right here, meaning I got to pull that out. So let me just take care of that real quick. Okay, that doesn't look good, so I'm going to select a little bit more here. Here we go. Interesting. Oh, I got something underneath of it. Ah, yeah, okay, that'll do it. Okay, connect that. Let's go back on that one. And I gotta watch out for that stuff. And let's rotate a little bit. Move it back a little bit. Here we go. That one got a little crimped. Alright, so we're gonna go in here and center pivot that. Okay, so that looks good. So we're gonna go in here and we are going to isolate this. Okay. And it's easy. I think you guys know how to do this. I'm going to do one and you guys will do the rest. It would be insane how long this video would be if I did all of these. You know, that's the crease in there. We can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of like the corners, right? You can get rid of these little guys here. Any supporting edges on the sides. Just double click on everything. Make sure everything looks good. And you're just going to do a Control Delete. Okay. Notice that the shape did not change. Let me go back. Shift Z. It won't let me. Okay. Alright, so let's go back. Control Z. Okay, so notice that when I go back, Shift Z, okay, Control Z, the actual shape does not change, and that's how you can tell. There we go. Okay, so any edge loops here, right? Any edge loops here that are not defining a curvature, okay? That one kind of is, so we really can't get rid of those two. That's defining a curvature. These two I don't think are defining a curvature. Okay? So if I get rid of those, what would happen? It would go straight, right? So if I go Control Delete, it goes perfectly straight. Does that cause any consequences to what we're doing? Probably not. This edge loop doesn't need to be here either. So Control Delete, watch, check it out. Yep, that one's okay. That one you need to have because it goes through. This one you don't. And this one you don't. Control Delete, and then this one you don't. Be careful. Okay, if I were to do this one, watch what happens. Oopsie, changes the shape, can't do that. So that's what you got to watch for. If you change the shape, you just messed up. Okay, that's how you know. And some of these you can't get rid of because they're supporting edges all along here. Okay, this one maybe I could. Because wait a minute, no, I can't because that supports that curvature there. Again, you'll know it if you delete it. Watch, Control Delete. Oops, that's not good. Okay, so that's now a low poly. Okay, that's a low poly. Alright, so Control 1 again, alright? So you got to do that to the rest of the pieces, okay? Alright? Now notice that I did make a mistake here because that curvature was supporting some stuff here, right? Okay? So let me go back, Control Z. And so you got to be careful with what you take out, and those we have to leave. We have to leave those. Okay, so we'll just leave those. That's okay. And then you can get rid of the rest of these guys here. Okay. Again, I have to be super careful not to go too fast and make a mistake here. Alright, so I think I got it. There we go. Okay, so that we can't change because there is a curvature there. Okay, so let's check it out. Control 1, there it is. Okay, right. So I got to be careful, right? So please be careful. Make sure you get these to low polygon. I can do this one real quick. It's pretty simple. Again, you start with things you know you can get rid of, right? And then you go from there. So I know I can get rid of this one, and this one, and this one. Is there any curvature in there? That's the problem. Some of these have some curvature, yeah. So I have to be super careful and not get rid of some of the curvature that's in here. I can't do that one. I can do this one. I can do this one, and I can do this one. I can do this one. And let's see what else we got here. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. That might have curvature on it. Okay. This one and this one. And this one and this one. Let's take a look at it so far. Control D again, just do a little bit. And then we've got these edge loops in here, which we don't need to have. Let's click off. Sometimes it gets stuck on some of the stuff that you've already selected. I'm going to just do those. You know, take your time. I'm not taking my time, but take your time, get this done, get this right. Hold the Control, Delete, and there it is. Okay, so get them all completely done. Here's an edge loop here I can get rid of, I think. Right there. There we go. Control, Delete. There we go. So that looks way better. Even with these edge loops right here, it's still okay. That's all right. Yep, the major, most of them done. And let's check out with it on the model and make sure nothing is going through and we messed anything up. That looks good. So there's the low poly. So we want all low poly stuff. Okay, all low poly. Okay, looks like I got doubles on everything. So watch that. Get rid of that one. So if I had doubles on that one, for some reason I got doubles. That happens. You do all these right here. So I'm going to click off that and make sure that we got our medium poly, high poly, and the original. Okay, it looks good. So I'm going to come back and I'll show you all my pieces and how I ended up getting them all set up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do this one. Just to let you know, by the way, all my pieces had duplicates. So what you do is you move it out and you basically let me go ahead and show you what I did. So move it out and just delete it. That way the other one stays in place. So do that for all of them. Okay, just make sure you click on it once. Don't marquee select because you'll select both of them. Don't marquee select. So marquee selecting will select both of them and you won't even know they'll go together. So just click on it and then move it, and if there's something underneath, delete the one you moved, okay, and then leave the one that's there. And then click on that one and move it and see if there's anything, because a lot of times you guys will have multiple duplicates. I don't know how that happens. It's probably because when you're putting stuff in layers, so just remember that. So to do this one's a little crazier because I think this is the most complex piece we had. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Hold the shift key down, just double clicking all the way down. Unless there's a curvature, right, we can do that. There's no curvature there. And so we're going to do all the way across tier 2 as well. You can't do that edge because that supports that edge right here. This one right here, because we don't want any of this interior stuff on a low poly. This will be kind of like magic. This is pretty cool. Can't do that one. No, can't do that one. Can do this one. We can do all three of these. There we go. And this one here at the bottom. And we can do all the interior ones here. Just kind of just go all the way through. I'm going to hit the Q key. That gives us a little nicer, be able to select everything. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to get rid of these pieces here because we don't want this in here. It just adds detail. We can bake that in with the normal map, right? Bake it in with Substance Painter. We're just kind of getting rid of this. We're just adding edge loops. We just don't want the one that goes across. Okay, this is a little more complex, right? So just do it with care. Okay, take your time, even though it doesn't seem like I am. Come on. There we go. Ooh, we got that little weirdness there. That's kind of crazy, right? So there's edge loops here and here. There's one over here that we missed, and either sides of these. This one was very highly edge looped to get what we needed. Oh, here we go. This is kind of the scary part. And then Control Delete. Wow, boom. And then double click on these two. Okay, that's good. And Control Delete. That's the most dramatic piece we have. Okay, that's the most dramatic piece we got. All right, so the rest of them are pretty easy, you know. This one's pretty crazy too, you know. Again, here I am gonna do it for you. I don't really like doing it. It's just eating up time. I think you guys can do this yourselves. So just look and see if we got a little curvature, and we do. So I'll do one more. And you guys have to do the rest. Just do the edge loops that you are able to do without getting in trouble. I can't do, yeah, I can do that one. Can't do that one. That one's supporting something. Again, you get to a point where you've selected quite a few of them and you're not quite sure. Just do a Control Delete and see what happens if, and really watch the shape. Don't take your eyes off the shape. Click off. You can see we can now easily get the rest of these. Okay, I can't get rid of that one, so I'm going to do Control Delete. And if you feel more comfortable just doing a little bit at a time, go ahead, do that. Alright, that piece is done. Control 1. There we go. So the low poly is starting to look like a low poly. Okay, there we go. Control 1. Go to edge mode, and let me do the ones I know for sure are okay to do. So I'm going to go ahead and hold the Shift key down. And those three. Okay, so those pieces right there. Oh, I can't do this one because that one's connected to that. Hold the Control key and double click on that one. This one has got quite a few up here. Get rid of that. And then these here, these, can't do that one. I can do this one. Can't do that one. I can do this one though. And this one. And you'll get better at this. Control, Delete. I just know what I'm looking for. Here we go, this one right here. Okay, Control Delete. There we go. And that's, and then these over here. Here we go. I'm going to Control Delete. There we go. So that's all cleaned up. Okay, we need that line here because that would totally destroy that. Control 1. Okay, moving on to the next one. So there's some decisions you got to make as an artist. I think we're going to get this pretty low. Let's say we have 6,000 polygons for this model, which is still considered pretty low poly, but we want to add detail. Maybe maybe the normal map just isn't good enough. There are some depth issues with normal maps, like why wouldn't I have just added depth to this instead of just creating a low poly? The answer is that, you know, to get that type of depth and that you have to model it. So I try modeling everything I can nowadays because usually the art director now is like, the engine can handle it, so let's go ahead, and model as much as we can. So I'm just kind of passing that along to you. Plus now Unreal 5 is coming out next year, and it can handle basically everything that you throw at it, even from ZBrush. Like, we're talking millions and millions of polygons, if not billions. So those are things we have to think about now as artists. So we can get away with a lot now, though. We do have to, right now, watch polygon count. So I'm just getting rid of all the edge loops here. It just adds so much more density to the mesh as far as polygon goes. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just look at the whole thing and make sure that nothing falls apart. Okay, so Control D, there we go, that looks good. And I get this little guy right here, and Control D. There's not much on this one. Just a couple things we need to get rid of that don't need to be there. There we go. Right. Another thing with him, get him totally cleaned up. Now the thing is, from certain angles we would see the inside of that, but it would be rare, wouldn't it? It'd be super rare. You'd have to get at a certain angle to be able to see that issue if we were to delete that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it. That will save a lot of polygons for us. So let's go ahead, move that out of the way. And actually we don't have to move it out of the way. We can just isolate it. There we go. And just rotate around it. And see all those polygons right here? Get rid of them. So select one, hit the Q key, just kind of just go. This is the best way to do it. Let's go in here. Select one, just select the other, select one, and then continue all the way in. Ah, come on. You have to watch yourself. Oh, another way. Ah, keep forgetting about the paint tool. Yeah. Hold down the shift key and just paint it in. Ooh, I like that one. Of course, you're getting underneath if your brush is too big, right? So I'm going to Control Z back. Get the brush smaller by holding down the B key. There we go. And hold the shift key and just kind of slowly go down, and you should be able to get them all. Okay. Okay. Now because the brush is so small, sometimes it doesn't get it. Just kind of do rotational. Just kind of move it around until it actually grabs it. There we go. Okay, awesome. Okay, now look at around so you don't delete anything you need to have. Just kind of look around the object. Very organic shaped object. And just so you don't delete anything you don't need to, right? And we're going to go ahead and hit the delete key. There's one little thing right here. There's a couple little guys right here we need to get rid of. Right here. Okay. And we'll delete those. There we go. So, and then the other one right here we can just do by hand if we want to. Okay, just kind of rotate around. And hit the F key. There we go. Make sure I don't have anything else selected, even from the other one. There we go. And delete. And that's that piece. So that is cleaned up. And we're down to 258 with all those polygons. Awesome. Got a nice looking structure for not very many polygons. Okay. That we're not cleaning up. That we're going to do something else with. The trigger. Let's go ahead and keep moving around here. I'm just going to knock them out slowly but surely. Normally I wouldn't go to all this trouble and recording all this, but I've had some students that requested it, so I went ahead and made this. Control delete. Alright, so go ahead and select that. Oh, one more up there, it looks like. Does that have a curvature on it? Nope. So we can go to edge and Control delete. Now notice I'm holding Control down, so when I go to vertex mode I don't have any wild vertices all over the place, right? Rogue vertices. Okay, Control 1, go into this one right here. This one's a little tricky, so I'm happy to show you this one here. So if you have an edge loop that doesn't support curvature, right, then get rid of it, right? So definitely this one. That one would get rid of. Okay, it's not supporting curvature anywhere, right? Right, so, but what about this one is supporting curvature. So I can't get rid of that, right? It's supporting this curvature right here. I can't get rid of that. Can't get rid of this one because it's supporting this curvature. And do we want to have that in the model for, yes, I do. When it comes to the low poly, I do want to see that. This here doesn't need to be there, so I'll double click on that, delete it, control delete. This one right here don't need, control delete, and control delete, and then one last one, control delete. Okay, so those are the ones that I want to keep in there. Alright, so now in gaming, it used to be in gaming you'd want to get rid of these two, right? Get rid of these two. Okay, and then soften the edge. We could go control delete. And that would be the old style. Let's get rid of that one too. That would be old style gaming where you'd have just that little and you'd soften that. See how it softens, almost looks like it's curved? Thing is, you can leave that in there if you want to. Nowadays. I mean, that would be cleaner looking, you know, when you're showing off your low poly model, for sure. But that extra added detail does add a lot to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that we don't need. And you can see that now that looks really nice. Okay, looks really good. All right, so let's go back. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, yeah, I can't do that. I can't change that. Let's go ahead and go Control 1. And so we just continue moving around here, making sure that everything is okay. Now we're going to do this one here, and again we're going as fast as we can. There's a lot here. Okay, so we have to be careful with this one. What else do we got to worry about here? We got to worry about this edge. Okay, so I'm going to start with these edges here that I know are okay to delete. So I'm going to go Control Delete. There we go. And then we're going to work on these inside pieces here. So this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Control Delete. Now let's check it out. Make sure we didn't mess anything up. Okay, do we need this one here? Yes, we do. We need that one. Can't get rid of that. So I'm going to get rid of this one and this one. Control Delete. Okay. Alright, so we're doing pretty good. Nothing's gone away yet. Let's go ahead and do this one, and I know that one's okay. This one's okay, and this one's okay to do. You can't do this one because that supports this piece right here. Okay. So we can get rid of those and get rid of this inside piece. Let's take a look at this one, make sure. Okay, that's okay. We can get rid of that. Control Delete. Alright, so we still have that structure. That's good. The inside one we can get rid of. That one we can't. And this one we can't, so we can get rid of this one. And this one, I believe. And we can do, whoops. And this one here. Here we go. And is this a straight piece? Do we have any roundness here? We got to ask ourselves, is this perfectly straight? I think it is. So let's go ahead and get rid of those 4. Okay. Alright, so those are the ones I'm going to get rid of. You can pause the video at any time if you want me to slow down, but Control Delete those. Okay. That looks good. We do have curvature on this, and I'm not exactly sure. I think it's just coming from here. So we can get rid of this, and we can get rid of this. And we can get rid of this. There we go. So those are the pieces. And anything underneath here, we can get rid of too as well for low poly. Let's just get rid of this one for now, because we may need to have that piece in there. I don't know. We'll see. So okay, so Control Delete, and that one is done. One could argue we need to have this one taken out, but I think we need that piece in there. Let's take it out and see what happens to it. Yeah, let's take a look at the whole thing a minute. Take a look. Nah, I think we could. No, I think we're okay. We're good with that. Alright, so next piece, this guy right here, is going to be a tough one to do. So Control 1, isolate it, and let's just start from the outside and just kind of just really go slow with this one. So edge loop here, edge loop here, edge loop here, and we're going to go around and see where it connects to. It's going to do this one here. Okay, we'll do edge loop here. What's this one doing? Do edge loop here, edge loop here, and here. Okay, and then we'll do one here and here. You can pause the video if you need to. And here, here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go Control Delete. Here we go. Just look and make sure nothing's collapsed on itself. Okay. We need this piece right here that's sticking out, but let's go ahead and double click on that one. And I don't see any other edge loops we can get rid of. Delete that. That looks good. Let's see if we've messed anything up. Control 1. Yeah, looks good. Okay. We got like a flashing, something flashing there. That's a surefire way of it saying, hey, there might be an object underneath. And there is. Look at that. Yeah. So you have to watch for that stuff. So let's go ahead and since we did all that work on that, I'm just going to delete the one underneath. And just select this guy right here. And just go to the translate and hit 0, and that way that'll zero that back out again. There we go. Okay, let's grab this guy, put it in, isolate it, and we're going to go ahead and delete all the edge loops I need to. I'm just going to do delete. This one we don't need. Control delete. Again, just Control delete. Double click on it, Control delete, and continue around. Do Control delete. Make sure it's getting underneath. Okay. And then the bottom edge loop, Control delete. This edge loop right supporting that edge loop, delete. This one on the outside, Control delete. On the other side here, this outer edge, Control delete. This one, I'm not sure if that's doing, nope, Control delete that one. Control delete this one. Can't Control delete that one. That one's supporting an edge. This one is supporting an edge. And this is not. Control delete. So I think that piece is done. Oh, we got an outside edge right here. Control delete. There we go. That looks pretty great. Okay. Again, we don't need the bottom pieces, the bottom faces, so I'm going to go ahead and delete those. That is not needed. Okay, let's kind of get a little bit closer. There we go. Now, for some reason, you need to have that. Feel free to leave it. It's not going to cause a whole lot of pain with polygon count, but I'm just trying to show you that you can delete. There are pieces, components that you can delete, and underneath is if you never see it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete by type history here with that one. That had a lot of history on it. Let's go ahead and Control 1. Okay. So, and that one. Okay, so, alright, so that one is done. And this guy, hopefully this guy will go a little bit easier, a little faster. So let's go ahead and isolate that one. And let's see if this goes better now. We have to be careful which edge loops we're going to get rid of. So we're going to start and look at these pieces here. So I'm going to go in here and, oh yeah, nice edge loop, look at that. So that works. So we're going to get rid of these, okay, right away. So I'm going to control delete that. There we go. See, that kind of takes a lot of edge loops out. And then I'm going to click off here and start fresh on this one here. This one doesn't need to be there. Okay. Do control delete. And this one here. And I can't do that one. That one's got to stay, unfortunately. So I can only do those two. Control delete. And then this one right here, and that one we have to keep. This one we don't need to have. This one we have to keep that one. Control delete. You can pause the video at any time if I'm going too fast. And control delete. There we go. That one. And then we move our way down right here. And just kind of watch and make sure nothing collapses that we don't want to collapse. Here we go. And then this one here, get in real close to this one, that one, this one, that one, and this one. And just kind of control delete until, there we go, that looks good. And there's an edge loop supporting that edge. Control delete. And do we need both of those? No. Control delete. There we go. So far so good. I think we're getting it. We'll go down to the end here. Alright, so this one can go and this one can go. Control delete. And this one can't go, but this one can go. Control delete. And that is good. I think that's it. That's all we can do. Okay. Let me look one more time on this one. Yep, that's it. That's all we can do on that. We got some supporting edge loops that need to be taken care of, so that's good. That one's done. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. What do we have next? This one right here, control 1. Again, this is an easy one, hopefully. I always say that and then it turns out to be a hard one, but and that edge needs to be there, so we'll do the supporting edges. Control delete. Here we go. Get down a little bit farther. This one and this one. Control delete. This one and this one. Control delete. There we go. Alright, so that looks good. Control 1, and then we'll do this one back here. Okay, control 1 like that, and then go to edge mode. And these have some very close ones. Wow. Okay, let's get those. Get that corner. Control delete, and then we got the one at the bottom here for this on this side. Control delete, and then we got the other side. We gotta do control delete. Okay. Good on that. Control 1. We're still on the low poly cleanup one. There we go. So that's done. Let's go back into object mode. That's done. This one's not done. This one's done. This one's done. That. Just double checking everything. That one's done. Oh, that's not done. So let's control 1. Go in here and just take out the edge loops here. Just holding down the shift key and deleting. Just go ahead and control delete. There we go. Just double checking everything. That looks good. Some of these don't take long at all. Control 1. Okay, that one's good. Got that one. Got that one. No, we need to get these. Okay, so I'm going to do one, and then I want you to do the rest of them exactly the same. So you can re-watch this part of it over and over again to get all 3 of those done. So I don't want to waste any time here. Control 1. So I want to smooth this more. I just don't want to leave it like that. It just won't look good as low poly. So I do want to do something with that. So I'm going to go into mesh and smooth, right? Let's go into smooth and see what we can do with that. Subdivision level of 1. There we go. That is better. I can do something with that. Even with low poly, I can do something with that. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to have to do, though, that's at 176 faces. So I can kind of fix this, okay? Alright, so I'm going to go in here and if I were to smooth this again, like hit the G key again, smooth it one more time, that would give us a lot nicer smooth look, but there's a lot of cleanup to do. I don't want to do that. So Control Z back to 1. Okay. So I can deal with this. So what we're going to do is just to clean this up, we want to keep these 3. That gives us that nice rounded edge. So I'm going to get rid of the rest of them though. Okay, just all that. Control D. Easy. This one here, and everything inside we don't need to have. Okay, so we just need to have that cross. Let's go ahead and not delete that. Let's just follow that edge right all around here. There we go. And let's do a Control Delete, see what happens. There we go. Alright, so that cleans that up. There's an edge right here. I'm not too worried about. What about these 2 edges here? Do we need that? Do we need those? Probably not. Oh, we do. Those are supporting edge loops, so and we got these in here. That's kind of weird, but they're all triangle, or they're all quadrangle, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. So we're good there. So we got a nice little edge there. So I want you to do that with the rest of them. Okay, all right. So Control 1, and I want you to do the rest. Do the rest of those. Okay, and we'll come back. Alright, so we got all those finished, and we're back. Control 1, and looks like we got all those finished. So we do have kind of a size difference here. We've got those completely finished, that one's completely finished, but this is a little bit small to hold this. So we're going to scale this down just a little bit. We don't have to do much, just so it fits in there. There we go. Okay. Right, so the rest of it, this guy right here, we need to go ahead and make sure that's on 1 when we hit the 1 key, not in 3. 1 key. We're going to go Control 1. Let's go ahead and get this all set up, and we're going to delete these edge loops. Hit the Q key, delete these edge loops here. And so just this one's fairly easy to do as well. Alright, so one last one at the bottom. Okay. And Control Delete. Let's go ahead and go to Control 1 and then look at that, see what we have there. That looks pretty good. And we got one more piece right here at the back. I think this is the last one. And we'll delete the edges here as well. Again, this isn't hard work, it's just tedious work. Remember, do not delete edges that are supporting a corner, an outside edge. Be very careful. This is an outside edge here because that's supporting this box, so you have to be careful not to delete things that have that are needed to support the actual object itself. Right. So let's get this one here, and let's see if we got everything. Looks pretty good. Let's go Control Delete and double check. And we have an edge loop right here, it looks like. Control Delete. There we go. Perfect. Oh, one little. That's kind of weird. Very strange edge here. Okay, that's kind of bizarre. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go to Vertex. You may not have this issue right here, but it's easy to fix. So go to Edit Mesh and merge the center, and that should take care of that. Okay, otherwise that looks good. Do a Control 1. So where are we at with polygon count? We're at 3,715. We're under, and we said 3,000 or 6,000. We still have to mirror that over, but we're well within. Oh, wait a minute, we got one more down here. I can see him by himself. I'm going to make sure we get everything out. Okay, so this edge loop here. Okay, let's just get the edge loops. And we need that one. Gotta have that outside one, so delete that. Okay, let's go ahead and Control Delete. Just make sure everything's good. We need to have that edge loop right here because that gives us that kind of point right here that we need to have. We got to support that. Alright, so I think we are finished with cleanup.